Hello, and welcome back to this new video. Today I am flying the Malediction, the second part of the series where I get one kill in every frigate. And last time the lucky wheel landed on the Malediction, so I had to come up with something that works for it. And since you know I don't really like kiting so much in faction warfare space, I decided to go for a brawl of it, so let me show you what I came up with. So of course, 3 rocket launchers, then I have web scram, afterburner. Should have taken T2 scram here, I think it would have worked with the CPU, but I didn't bother really, and then later I forgot, so yeah, it's a scope run now. But thanks to the tackle range bonus that the Malediction gets, it doesn't really matter. I had enough scram range always. Damage control, ballistic control for extra damage, multi-spectrum coating because that takes less CPU, an answered armor wrapper, and double hull rigs. Usually double armor rigs is better on the Mara ships, but I like that it has such high speed and I didn't want to reduce that. And I was happy with getting a bit of hull tank. This is basically like an H-on just with missiles and low DPS. As you can see, it's only 120 DPS instead of 220 for the H-on. But of course the missile range and application and the speed is a big advantage. I'm also quite happy with how it tanked. So yeah, that's pretty much the fit. Of course I have all kinds of missiles, short range, long range, EM and explosive damage, and some Coldori Navy as well in case I need the extra range or a bit of extra application. Yeah, that's pretty much all about the fit. The last fit and this one and probably the next one as well are going to be a bit similar, as in always the armor wrapper plus hull tank, but it's a combination that works well for quite a few of the frigates. I'm gonna try to keep the variety up a bit, you know, have some different fits, but for more difficult ships that aren't so PvP oriented in the first place, or maybe solo PvP oriented I should say, I'm probably using things pretty much like this. So yeah, let's just do the wheel spin real quick to know what we'll fly in the next video, and then get into the nice fights I have on this ship. So see you in a minute. Alright, in this first fight I am sliding with my Malediction in on the Retribution. I expected him to be kite fit, and his range from the beacon confirmed me that he indeed was. But I hope that my nice afterburner speed combined with the extra tackle range that the Malediction gets would be enough to tackle him. You can see now that this clip is at 200% speed, because the Retribution first decided to run off a bit and test me and see what I would do. I did the same thing. But I named my Malediction Fleet Tackle, so you probably thought I was tackled for a fleet. So I decided to here activate my afterburner, show him my maximum speed, let him know he has the advantage, and see how he would react to that. And as you can see now in a minute, he will become very much more aggressive, realizing that I'm probably not faking my AB speed, but actually being AB fit. And he might have even looked at my weapon, seeing that I was rocket fit, and therefore knowing that I was brawl fit. Either way, he let me get a bit closer to him, and only now he started targeting me. He immediately gets a good shot in, but I quickly react by, well, kind of chance matching him, making sure he misses the shots. And here I'm just doing some manually piloting, flying around him, and since a few days ago I flew the Retribution, I knew exactly what its locking range was and how to annoy it by always staying just outside of that range. And yeah, I'm just here testing him, see if he would get close enough to actually do some damage to me, while also keeping my transversal high, so he wouldn't hit me if he would shoot me. He's now flying down a bit, and I'm just, yeah, piloting around, seeing what he will do if I do different flying maneuvers. It's clear that I won't be able to just do an easy slingshot here. And now it looked to me like he was going back into the plexing radius, so I thought, wait, is he just gonna ignore me now while he runs the side? So I decided to push in a bit closer again and see what he would do. Now the clip is sped down from 200% to only 150, because now it gets a bit more interesting, and it's actually interesting to see the positioning. Again, I'm just flying into the capture radius with Flex now, and he is just keeping his distance. Still not sure if he should actually go in and to like 20 kilometers to point me and kite me, or if he should still stay at a higher range. But and now he flies down a bit, and he starts shooting me. So this time I let him shoot me a bit more. Don't immediately go out of transversal to just see what he would do if he would actually get me a bit lower. Here he points me, so I let him feel comfortable a bit more, and I was planning to maybe bait tank him a bit, but I wrapped more with the Ansil than I expected, because this was my very first fight in the Malediction, so I expected to wrap less, but wrapped more than I expected. And here you can see I'm cutting off his flight path while getting heat on my afterburner. And I don't know what he was thinking, but he got a little bit too close, and I got tackle on him. So I just get into that nice close orbit, 500, hug him so his lasers don't hit, and yeah, I can now just take the heat off everything. At this point I also realized that I'm shooting a T2 Amar frigate, and that Nova is not the right ammo. So I'm just quickly switching to Mjolnir, which is still not great. It's the second best resist against Amar ships. But I didn't have thermal with me, because I was actually in Jita thinking, do I need thermal ammo in case I meet any T2 Amara ships? And then I was like, nah, retributions are so rare. Why would that ever happen? And then the very first fight I find is against this Richie. But luckily, he's kite fit, so he doesn't have a lot of tank, and Mjolnir does enough. Put a bit of heat in there, making sure he doesn't call friends or anything. But yeah, I'm quickly getting through his tank, and it doesn't look like he'll be able to do much. He's still armor repping a bit, and maybe he has assault damage control, I'm not sure at this point. But if he does, he can still prolong the inevitable a bit longer, but yeah, he is dying for sure because he's not hitting me, and even friends would arrive too late at this point. So yeah, I take heat off guns, don't want to burn out, that would be embarrassing. But yeah, now he's in hull, I just approach to maybe try to grab the pod and get that loot. But, yeah, I do grab the loot, and I do actually point the pod. So yeah, and here's the kill me. Got a bit unlucky on the loot. Shade Grace the Word Disruptor didn't drop. But hey, I'm happy with that kill and with the manual piloting into catching him that I managed to do. So yeah, that's great. And this next clip, I am fighting a Catalyst. And I immediately managed to tackle him and point him. And you know, it was just hoping that if he would load Nell, he wouldn't hit me too hard. He has a web, not a scram, so I know I can leave. And even if he had a scram, I could just put range and leave, because the speed on this thing is crazy. Like, I'm currently webbed and I'm still going 700 meters per second. It's ridiculous how quick this thing is. So yeah, I'm just, without worrying about much, just orbiting him at 8 kilometers, which should be enough for my unbonus missiles to still hit him at that range. And yeah, I'm still within scram range as well, because the nice scram range bonus. The pilot did fly quite well. He had a nice fit with a lot of hull tank and an armor repper, and he did use his armor repper. But unfortunately, he did not know that null ammo has more range, and that he should have switched to null ammo. I later talked to the pilot to place the ship, and gave him a bit of advice on how to fly in factional warfare and how to know which ammo to use in which situation, you know, with void, null, and antimatter. But yeah, I respect him for taking the fight, because many people don't, and he did, so yeah, great on you, dude. And yeah, here we are in the next clip. I'm expecting this Comet to slide in, and here he is. I know that both Rail and Blaster Comets I can beat, and yeah, as soon as he lands, I look at his ship to know which guns he's using. I see rails, so I know Orbit 500 is the thing. I immediately get close, and yeah, you can see he's not hitting me at all with his rail guns, but he is actually speeding up quite well, even though I have him scrammed. So I know this is a rail Comet, but it's not the rail scram kite Comet, nor is it a rail kite Comet. It's a weird combination of both, because he has a warp disruptor and not warp scram, but still those 150 rails. Later I found out that he was a fit specifically meant to counter hook builds. So the plan of that fit was to sit in the site and wait for hook builds to slide in and then kill them easily. As you can see now, he's also changing his drones from acolytes to hobgoblins, which was a good thing to do, because thermal damage against T2 Amar resist is the best you can do, and hobgoblins do deal thermal damage. Here I start shooting his drones a bit, because they do deal a lot of damage, and Malediction is not too tanky. I've also put the drones on the web on the drones, but then I realized, oh shit, yeah, he is AB fit, so if I take the web off, he can actually pull some range. So I put the web back on him, which meant that I didn't do so much damage to the hobgoblins. That's alright. As you can see now, I'm completely overwrapping. It was a big mistake on my part, but yeah, I did remember to turn off auto reload. So now I'm just in that orbit 500 again, and I decided to ignore the drones that were still out and just go for the Comet and hopefully kill him and ignore the hobgoblins and be one egg alive for now. I'm in reload because the Malediction has a rate of fire bonus on missiles, so rockets, well, they have more DPS, but they also shoot a lot faster. So I do take a lot of ammo in this ship, and it eats a lot of ammo. As you can see, he is super tanky in hell, and I decide to kill another drone because he is doing a lot of damage with me with his drones, and I also decided that it was worth to take the web off him for a second, combining that with heat on my afterburner to just make sure I would get another one of those hobgoblins down. And now he is putting acolytes on me, which I feel a lot more comfortable with because they don't deal so much damage to me. And now I'm just grinding through his hull, which is super thick. And yeah, he is probably out of cap by this point because he is not wrapping very strong at the moment. Now I just switched his drones again. I hope that if I would shoot his drones a bit, he would recall them, you know, scare him into recalling them, but he didn't. So I decided to just keep shooting him and not bother with the drones. And I do know that I have 2 hull rigs, so even if I go into hull a bit and if I have to stop wrapping, I can tank still a lot in hull. So I just decided to use my armor wrapper until I was out of cap, and then tank with hull buffer while I was regenning cap, and then activate the armor wrapper again. So that was my plan. But I hope that since I already had him at like 25% hull, he would hopefully soon go down. Now you can see I am almost out of cap, so I deactivate the armor wrapper. But I preheat it again in case I need it again. But he is super low on hull by now, and I'm going to reload again, as he is on like 5-6% hull. I use my armor wrapper one more time, and I'm almost out of missile reload. And I can start shooting him again, and now I am sure that I can tank the rest of the drones until he's dead, and within 2 more shots he dies and he goes down. So GF, bye bye Comet. I go for the loot and his pod. Pod gets away, but I get the loot. Here you can see he had a reinforced bulkhead 2 in his low slots, which explains why his hull was so thick. And yeah, it was a bit of a weird kite pit. Okay, this next fight is a great one because I really didn't expect this. I just saw this Raptor in local and asked him, hey, want a 1v1? Because it's not so often you see battle interdictors and then 2 at once that actually can 1v1 each other. It's great. I have, of course, Mjolnir loaded because Raptor is shield. But he has his EM hole plugged a bit, I think, with 1 or 2 rigs, I'd say. Because he's not taking so much damage even though I'm shooting EM at him. He has a tracking disruptor on me, which isn't good, of course, because I'm not affected by tracking disruptors. If he had a missile guns disruptor, the fight would have looked very much different because missile guns disruptor would have forced me in very close to hugging him, because then I would have really struggled with the range because Malediction doesn't get a range bonus on missiles. And yeah, otherwise you could have guides disrupted me, and I would have started with application. I would have had to switch to Kaldari Navy, and yeah, that would have all made it so much closer because still like this he's tanking me very well. And here I make a mistake. I didn't realize how quick he was, so while I'm fiddling around here with my orbit to get everything done, he slips out of my web range, even though I still had him scrammed. Now he's out of my web range and he super speeds up, and I really didn't know that the Raptor was just on afterburner speed quicker than the Malediction, so he got away and he decided to end that fight. And yeah, we just called it like GF. Yeah, that's good. Okay, this next clip I landed on a very bad warp in this open on the Firetail, and I started the recording a bit late, which was really sad because at this point I had this ship on 4 kill marks, and here just landing on that bad warp, and I could have escaped from the Firetail, but because he had a Malediction buddy, that kept me in place, otherwise I could have warped off, which was really sad, and that was my first Malediction. So, yeah, I was a bit sad about that, but I decided to go out again because I do need a Malediction in my Hall of Flame, you know, one with a kill mark. So, I grabbed another one, and then I lost to a misclick against an Algos, unfortunately. I meant to click warp, but I didn't, and then the game lagged, and I died before I could warp off. But I decided to get my revenge, so this time, again, I'm against an Algos. I immediately tackle him, damage on him. Algos are so scary. I would say it's the scariest destroyer to fight in a frigate, not looking at Navy destroyers. Well, Korax and Algos and Talwar are probably the scariest because you can really not avoid their damage with the Jones. Oh yeah, and the Dragoon. So it's really one of the harder destroyers you can fight in a frigate. But I decided to give it a try anyway because I saw on D-Scan that he only had tier 1 Valkyries. So I hoped I could tank that damage. And he's also shooting explosive damage into me, which is not the best, because I have the highest resistance against that. So, yeah, he is still doing a lot of damage to me, which is scary. But I should be able to tank it. I'm also hitting my Afterburner here a bit, to hopefully make the drones miss a few shots. And I took a lot of heat out of my guns in this fight, because I really didn't want to die again against an Algos. So, only now I stopped heating. And now I saw that there was a Catalyst on D-Scan, and that got me really scared, so I started lining out and making use of a mechanic that when a ship follows you, your effective missile range is a bit longer because the missile travel time is shorter when the enemy flies towards the missile. So even though here I was technically out of missile range because I only have 8,400 meters, because he flew straight towards me, my guns could still hit, and just as the Catalyst Navy entered, I managed to warp off and get that kill. So, that's my Malediction now, with a kill mark. So I'm really happy about that. And, yeah, that's all the fights I had for you today. And, yeah, the Malediction was a really fun ship. I enjoyed it a lot more than I would have imagined. And, yeah, as a solo PvP ship, I would rate it at like a 5 out of 10, I'd say. So, yeah, if you missed the first part, you can also check out that, which was Molus solo PvP, also really interesting. And well, the next part is coming soon. So if you have any questions, ideas, concerns, anything, put it in the comments. Also, if you would like to participate in the giveaway that's still up and running, so just leave your in-game name in a comment and I will send you a partner skin. And yeah, that's it for the video. I'm gonna stop talking, and I wish you a nice rest of your day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!